I confused you last time on Disconnected. I thought you lived in or grew up in New York, but you actually grew up in LA, and you know all the areas I know: Plummer Park, Poinsettia Park, the Pan Pacific and shit. I want to ask you, where did you hang out like in LA as a kid? Like,
so I'm from the West Side, West Los Angeles. So I spent a lot of time in like Stoner Park, skateboarding and shit like that.
Even before the park was there?
Well,
dude?
yeah, it used to be just back in the day. Stoner Park was gangbang the fuck out.
No way.
Yeah, that's a Sotel Trece. That's like their barrio right there.
That's crazy.
And like like older fools that I used to look up to would kick it there.
No way.
I kicked it in Baldwin Park too. Those.
Wait, so you used to skate too?
Yeah, I skated. I was like not that good. But it wasn't. This is way before the stoner recreation.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's like relatively new.
It was
still
just
old,
like,
but relatively.
That was
new.
like the meetup spot where you'd like, you feel me, like mac up bitches and smoke weed, and
that's crazy.
Fools would be getting in fights.
I never even heard of that park.
Little dice games and shit.
I never even heard of that park until that skate park was there.
It's been there since back in the day.
That's insane.
There was like a legendary mural of like the fools from Sotel, from the gang, like that was there, and it got removed by the city.
Way.
Like, there was all this protests around it.
Oh, people were upset about that?
Yeah, because this is like a landmark in the community. And
wow.
shit. I kicked it there a lot, but like back in the days, it's crazy. Because now it's like a lame place to go, but everyone in the city, and not just the West Side, fools would come from South Central, fools would come from all over. Westwood Village was super cracking.
Okay, for anyone that doesn't know the LA area, all of this information is a little bit shocking to me because Stoner Park right now is highly gentrified. All the houses there are like very nice houses. It's like you'd get in trouble for skating someone's front yard. Like they'll come out like it's like very like gentrified area. West that other what was the name of it again?
Westwood.
Westwood is even more. That's like multi-million-dollar houses right now.
Right. So check this out. So it's two different things to address right there.
Okay.
The Sawtell district of West LA, where Stoner Park is, back in the day, like as recently as the 90s, was over 50% Latino neighborhood.
Wow.
So
that's drastically changed like pretty
now it's like
quickly.
less than 10%.
Dude, that's insane.
And so let me break it down on a historic level of Los Angeles. I don't know if people think this is interesting, but this kind of shit is fascinating to me.
No, yeah, same.
Like the civic history of LA.
Wait, I'll put the chat away for now so we can focus on the conversation.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up for the after show though.
Yeah. So in back in the day in Los Angeles, there was literally only 4 neighborhoods in the west side of LA where Latino and black people were allowed to own land or even like rent apartments.
Wow.
They were classified, and this was the actual name of them, as designated servant zones.
What the fuck?
Because it'd be like where the people that worked for all the rich folks were like, all the mechanics, the plumbers, the fucking the housekeepers.
Exactly, housekeepers or something like that.
They all lived in these areas. So
Jeez.
Those 4 spots in the west side of LA is like around would be 17th Street in Pico in Santa Monica, Sawtell and Pico in West LA, Lincoln and Rose in Venice, and Braddock and Slauson near Culver City.
Okay.
And those were the 4. So around those areas and this is like, gangs formed around those areas. And all
I see,
shit.
yeah.
So I spent a lot of time. Now, Westwood was always like a wealthy neighborhood, but Westwood Village is basically like the kick it spot for UCLA students.
Yes,
and there'd be like this is back in the 90s when going to the movies was still dope. So there's movie theaters there. There's arcades there. There's
candy stores. There's all types of stores and
shit. It used to
be
popping though. The Westwood Arcade was like a central spot.
Oh shit!
All the graffiti crews in LA would like catch spots around there.
Damn,
I got arrested.
That place is lame now, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's lame as fuck,
bro.
But back then it was cracking, fool. Like they had to. It started to, like, there would be so many like fights and shootings and gang violence that cracked off over there.
Holy
that
shit.
They had to change laws. Like gang injunction in the area. They had cruising laws, which means you can't like drive around in like a circle. That's what people would do,
bro.
They would literally cruise Westwood Village, like to be like low riders, all kinds of
Holy shit, that's insane. Have you ever You know the area El Segundo?
Of course.
You know that song, Lost My Wallet in the El Segundo? Dude,
yeah.
So I always, I never really knew of the area El Segundo. I always just knew that song.
Right.
And back in the day when I was doing appliance installations with my dad, we had to do an installation in El Segundo, and we were talking to this like old dude who owned the house, and he was just like hovering over us, just like talking to us the whole time. And he was telling us, he's like, he's like, back in the day in El Segundo, he's like, black people weren't allowed here after nightfall. He's like, when the sun set,
sundown town,
black people weren't allowed in the area. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, and he was telling me this is not that long ago, like maybe 70s or some shit like that.
In the 60s, yeah.
I was like, holy fuck, dude, that's insane. And like, I was like wondering, does that song have something to do like with that?
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, I was like, does it seem like, losing your wallet in El Segundo means you'll never get it again?
No,
or
it's
like,
definitely not that deep with that record. But like the majority of LA was like that. And,
that's crazy.
That's
dude.
why. That's literally why Black and Latino gangs got formed, was to protect themselves from like white people fucking with them and shit like
that's
that.
That's what I heard about for example, what's that park called, where the first like street plaza was built, where MS-13 first.
MacArthur Park.
No, what's next to MacArthur Park? Lafayette.
Okay,
Lafayette, when Lafayette was first built, that was like the first skate plaza to be built by, I think Rob Dyrdek did it with like with Carl's Jr. and shit. But that was like in 2011, 2012. Also, never been there before in my life. The park got built. I started like ditching school to go there in the mornings and shit. And I started talking to people in the area and people I met there, and they were just telling me like, this is where like this gang first like formulated, and like and they would tell me like we had to, it was like originally a thing where we just had to protect ourselves and like from other areas and shit like that. It's like, I don't know, I was just like learning the history just by skating in that area, by talking to people.
It gets really, really deep. It gets real deep. I'll kick it in those spots. I kicked it in Venice. I kicked it in I've been going to Venice like my whole life.
Is this through skateboarding? Like how would you hang out in all these different areas? For me, like if the only reason why I was in any different area, if it was not for skateboarding, I would have just been like scared of my parents getting mad of me going too far from the house. I would have like stayed in Plumber Park or something like that. But my homies would be like, we're going to this valley because there's a skate spot. We're going to Venice Beach because there's a skate spot. Like I would go with my homies because there was a skate spot all the time,
Well, like, yeah, definitely like my neighborhood, it was always skating and riding bikes, doing shit like that. It really started with bikes even before skating.
Oh, really?
We'd be
like BMX or just riding around?
Just like on Schwinn's and
okay.
beach cruisers and shit.
Yeah.
We're little ass kids. I'm saying we're like 7, 8, 9 years old.
And you were allowed to go this far?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like this is just in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
But we would literally like beef with the kids on the next block over. The block that I grew up on had a lot of families. There was like 25 kids on my block.
Oh, so just hella kids.
So we would be kicking every day. Like literally the next door was the Loeb family. 2 doors down, the Rabin family. 3 doors down, the Chang.
You remember their
these
names?
Are kids I grew up with.
Damn, that's crazy.
And shit, like, and we would like ride around on bikes, and we would like beef it with the kids on the next block, and like we would steal their bikes, and like they would steal our bikes. It'd be like this whole.
That's so funny. I remember in my area, like, because I grew up in West Hollywood, there was like certain beefs that formulated, but that was mostly between me and my skateboarding circle of homies, because there was like a pretty large group, and sometimes like dudes would just argue over stupid shit, and fights would happen and all this stuff. But anyways, I want to.
But then when I branched out, it would be like, it was partially from that, but it was also from meeting kids from playing sports in different neighborhoods and shit.
Yeah.
And then just getting homies all over the city. And
like just going to play basketball or something like that. Yeah.
Playing baseball, playing basketball. Then you're on the all-star team and you're meeting kids from other areas and then going to kick it over there, hopping on the bus like super young. I'm on the bus system.
And back in the day, there was way less buses.
Less
so you have to
buses.
take multiples to get to like one location.
Exactly. Or even like have your parents drop you off if they can.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like I saw my first dead body on Venice Beach when I was super young.
No, wait, over just drowning or like violence?
No. It was literally, I saw a dead gang member on the beach. He was later I figured out, okay, he's for sure from Shoreline. Like I'd seen.
What the fuck, dude?
Super
Holy
young.
shit! Like with blood and stuff.
I didn't really like get that close of a look.
Oh, okay, but you just
yeah.
Holy shit, dude.